All right, let's see if it works this time. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're sitting here at Bass Pro Shops, Springfield, the Granddaddy store. We are here because of the Next Generation seminars with teen anglers, and that is high school fishing, both in Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas, and soon to be Illinois. Today we're having Austin Ware come in with WIllard High School, and he's going to present to us a couple things. So I've got Austin here with us now. Austin, how are you? Nice to meet you. This is a little awkward, I know. Tell me a little bit about your school, why you're here, and what you're doing today.
Well, I go to WIllard High School, and I've been going to the district of WIllard since been in preschool. I mean, I've lived in WIllard all my life, and the WIllard High School team got started up a few years ago, and I was just fortunate to get on there when I was in 8th grade. Of course, I couldn't fish no tournaments during the time, but you know, I'd come to the meetings and everything, and I'm a junior now in high school, and I fished a few of their tournaments, and I really like it and enjoy it.
So you're here today at the Bass Pro Shops.
Yes, sir.
You're kicking off at 6 o'clock, which is going to be here shortly. And what is your focus today on what you're talking about?
To present my knowledge on jerkbait fishing, and hopefully to teach others, you know, the basics of jerkbait fishing and what they can do, and hopefully they can learn something and go out and use it on the lake.
So for those of you who aren't familiar, basically what Bass Pro does here in Springfield is something called Tuesdays with the Pros. They bring a local pro out. They talk about either be a specific technique, a lake, or you know, anything fishing in general. So what we've done is that kicks off at 7 o'clock. What we're doing is 6 o'clock, we're taking a high school angler and doing just that. Same thing, but giving that opportunity for a high school individual to present their skills, their knowledge of what they learn on the lake, and hopefully, you know, have it progress with their career and into fishing. So, Austin, it was an absolute pleasure talking with you today. I'll let you kind of go off. I know you got stuff to do. I'm going to hang around here for a little bit, but I'm sure people are going to join in online, ask questions. So as they come up, I'll be sure to let you know.
All right, be more than happy.
It's an absolute pleasure.
All right,
thank you. All right, so we got some time to kill. Basically, we're just going to walk around. I'm hanging out by the boat section. But what I'm hoping for everyone here is you'll get in, you'll get hooked up on this live deal and ask questions, make comments, really see what you want to learn from Austin. I'm just kind of here as the cameraman to help out, but you know, anything that you guys have, need, or questions about, Austin's here to help you. So until then, we're just going to kind of mosey around, walk around, but happy to support anyone online. We have some beautiful new 2017 models all cleaned up, ready to go. We were just doing an interview next to the beautiful Z20 Nitro single console. This is a pretty Z19. Silver, black, and white, silver interior. You got a power pole, HDS touchscreens, Gen 3s. Just a beautiful setup right there. You guys haven't known, this weekend they're doing a huge sale on pro qualifiers. The ones that are out right now, they're $50. Tremendous steal. Got your B&M lures, tournament series plastics. Goodies upon goodies. More of my favorites. Wild Thing. Wild Crawl Junior. Some Gozuris on sale. Can't go wrong with some top water. Water's pretty warm right now. Table Rock's 50 degrees. Like the Ozarks is in that 45, 49. lot of high school anglers, if you're looking to get into a boat, this Tracker 195 TXW is a great starter. If you're looking at a boat that's got a 154 stroke on the back of it, it's a 19-foot versatility, completely new design, completely, brand new. The arch enemy boat, Grizzly, bow fishing fanatics. Secret room is back there. Can't go back there, but it gets into what we call the WOW Museum, World of Wonder. It is an exceptional, unbelievable museum that they'll be opening up hopefully within the next couple months. Aquariums, animals, just the whole history of anything you can think of from nature, outdoors. It's unbelievable what they have in there. I wish I could share more of it with you, but can't access it right now until they open. So. We got a little crew gathering, getting ready.
So there's a move.
Sure. He's able to. Sure. That's all part of it. All right, you ready for Testing. Testing. I probably do. I'll let you have that. I'll talk loud enough for everybody to hear me. So, hello, everybody. I want to thank everybody for coming here to our Next Generation Seminar. Today we're going to have Mr. Austin Ware is going to speak to you about fishing jerkbaits today. Tell you a little bit about our teen anglers. We're pretty excited with what's happening here. Our season's getting ready to take off here on March the 11th and 12th at Lake Ozarks. Last year we had about 63 boats, 63 teams or schools and clubs that were participating. Right now, after our total, we have 47 new schools that have signed up so far for this year, so we're looking at about 110 schools. We had 2 more schools sign up this week, and today is just Tuesday. So I had a call yesterday, and I had a call today. So we're pretty excited with this, and It's just hard to believe where this program is taking off, and it can't be possible without all you folks being a part of this, boating, and the passion of these young anglers with the sport of bass fishing. And our main goal, it looks like last year we gave away $20,000 in scholarships, with about 30 scholarships valued at $20,000 in scholarships. This year, we're going to be able to give away over 60 scholarships valued at over $50,000. So we're pretty excited with that. We've got some new things that's getting ready to be announced here in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So please keep an eye on our Facebook page, with our Teen Anglers Facebook page, and then also our website. And it's going to be some very exciting news that's coming up here before very long, and also some huge opportunities for our young anglers. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Austin, and thank you for coming, and thank you guys for being a part of this.
All right, guys, before we start, I'd like to give a big thanks and a shout out to Bass Pro, JP, and everyone else in the Teen Anglers for letting me come out here and speak tonight. But anyways, tonight's topic is going to be jerkbait 101. Just basically, I'm going to be talking about the basics of fishing jerkbaits, how I fish them and what I do if I decide to pick up a jerkbait. I'm Austin Ware, if you guys don't know. I fish Teen Anglers and USA Bass and a bunch of other local tournaments. As a matter of fact, I just won the 2016 USA Bass Divisional Championship. As a matter of fact, that's why I'm talking about jerkbaits, because that was probably the most fun day I've had out there on the water this year. But anyways, all right, let's get started. Why a jerkbait? Why should you pick up a jerkbait over a jig or a crankbait or something like that? They imitate an injured bait fish. And jerkbaits, this is a jerkbait suspending. This just so happens to be a Boyd Duckett series. But anyways, that there looks like a injured bait fish. If it's just sitting there in the water suspending like that, they offer a realistic profile. I mean, that looks like a bait fish or of some sort. It may not be exactly a gizzard shad that they're targeting, but a minnow or a threadfin shad, or even a blueback heron, depending on where you guys are fishing these. They can catch fish year-round when thrown in the right conditions. Van Dam throws his in the summertime. He'll throw it in the wintertime. He'll throw it in the fall. Whenever Scott Cliff just got done with a tournament win not too long ago, and he's throwing it in the early fall. So a jerkbait is a universal bait. You can throw it year-round. And they suspend the strike a little longer. That bait's going to sit in front of their face for a long time, and just pretty much it's going to aggravate the bass. You're not necessarily trying to get a bite from the fish. You're making them react to it. You're getting them stirred up and excited, and just out of natural instinct, that bass is going to come up there and grab that bait. When to throw jerkbaits? What time of the year? When should you throw them? Whenever the water temp gets below 50 degrees, those crawfish, they become super lethargic. They'll just go underneath rocks or burrow in mud, depending on where you're at. And they'll just stay. I mean, they won't get out or nothing. They'll just stay there. And the bass, will stop feeding on crawfish that time of the year. They'll turn their feeding habit over to bait fish. Not necessarily that crawfish are obsolete. They'll still eat a crawfish. And that's why I like to throw a jig in the middle of this time of the year. I mean, I won't drop it off the boat deck, but if I throw it to a laydown or some sort, and if I don't get a bite on there, I'll pick up that jig and follow up with it, because they will always eat a crawfish when put in front of their face. I'll throw the jerkbait in 40 to 60 degree water. Like I said, whenever that 60 degree water warms up, you're probably thinking, that's 10 degrees warmer. Those crawfish might be out and about. But those bass, some of those bass at different parts of the ends of the lakes, they might not see a crawfish until that water hits 60. And that's why they'll still be targeting bait fish during that time. I like to throw them in clear water. In the wintertime, that water's going to be clear. In the early spring, it's going to be clear. And if you can get a real natural presentation to match what they're feeding on, I mean, that there looks pretty natural in that crystal clear water. And if you ask me, the more natural you can get in that clear water, the better off you are. You can catch schooling fish on a jerkbait. For example, if they're coming up on top and you can't get one to bite on a super spook or a popper on schooling fish, pick up a jerkbait, throw it in there, and that bass will instinctively target out that injured fish and come up and hit it.
like I said before, you can throw a jerkbait up on top of a bed just to make them bite. It is a reaction bait. It's not a bait really to where they're not really wanting to hit it. They're just getting a reaction out of it. You're stirring them up, getting them mad. And like I said before, don't rule the bait out during the warmer months. Van Dam throws his in the summertime. You can throw it in the fall, the spring, whenever that water's warm. It is a great search bait, but you can work a jerkbait fast, you can work it slow, you can work it pretty much however you guys want. If you guys are comfortable working it quick, you can work it fast in the summer, or you can just throw it out there and let it sit. What jerkbaits to purchase? There's lots of jerkbaits out there, and everyone has their own character, and each one of them is very good at doing their job, and that's to catch fish. There's two types. There's a floating and suspending jerkbait. The ones I'm talking about tonight are suspending. You know, Mega Bass, a Rick Klein, or a Bass Pro XPS series, they make suspending jerkbaits. You can buy those, but you want a certain size. You want to match the hatch, but this here is a pretty good size to start out with, because of shad during that time of year, you know, they're not really humongous, but in the fall time you can pick up a bigger jerkbait, match the bigger shad that are probably going to be dying off during that time of the year. Like I said, a Smithwick, a Mega Bass, and Lucky Strike and Spro are real good baits. Your Mega Bass is going to run a little bit more expensive because the materials and components put on them. And they're also tungsten, so they're going to have tungsten rollers in them. And those are really, really good. They make the bait louder and they produce a different sound. So that's just another reason to keep in mind when you guys are buying jerkbaits. Think about the sound that it's going to be producing whenever you guys are fishing. That's a very important key. You know, those bass in that clear water are going to be looking, they're going to be hearing, but it's mainly going to be sight that they're going to be feeding off of in that real clear water. It's not necessarily sound. You're getting a reaction out of them. All these baits are found right here at Bass Pro Shop. So, you know, your Spro sticks, your Mega Bass, your Lucky Strike, and your Smithwicks, all found right here. If you guys can't figure out a color to remember or to buy, just remember, it's imitating a bait fish. It's always nice to have a clown or something along with you. Keep a clown on you, something with a little bit flashy colors. Because if you guys ever do come across murky water conditions, you can pick up that clown and throw it in that murky water. But you're not necessarily going to be fishing that real muddy water, because if you guys fish a lake like that, it's really tough. Those bass's metabolism lowers in that colder water, and they're just going to be tucked up and pretty much just put away in that real muddy water. But just remember, it's imitating the bait fish. You know, your Pro Blue, your Secret Night, made by Lucky Strike, and your Tennessee Shad Mega Bass. If I was to have three colors, it would be Pro Blue, white, and a clown. I mean, those are the three best colors you could probably buy in a jerkbait at all. The equipment I use, this here is a Lubes Mach 1 combo. It's a 610 medium heavy, fast taper, but it has a real soft tip to it. And that soft tip, you guys got to remember, you guys got 3 treble hooks on that bait. And you don't want a real stiff rod to where it yank the hook out. But also, those bass's jaws they're going to be a lot more solid in that cold water. The real brittle, well, not necessarily brittle, they're just really hard. I mean, you got to penetrate those light wire hooks, but you also don't want to rip it out. You want a 6-to-1 or 7-to-1 reel. For the reason you want a little quicker reel, you're picking up line. You always want to work a jerkbait on slack line. But if a bass does come up and hit it, and if he does not slacken the line, you want to be able to pick up that line quick, set the hook. And also, if you're going down the bank or something, you know, keeping the boat moving, you want a reel that you just keep that slack up. I mean, you don't want to have a foot of slack dragging behind you and try to reel it back real quick and jerk it again. It's all line pretty much. Your depth, range, it all varies on a jerkbait. But if you guys are throwing fluorocarbon, you get the bait deeper and you also feel those light bites. Because this time of the year, those bass, they're going to be biting pretty light. They're either just going to pick it up and run. You're not going to feel a jump. You might feel a jump every once in a while, but those are the real aggressive feeding fish. You want 10 to 12 pound mono for keeping the bait shallow. If they're up in the shallow water, you can get that bait a little bit shallower, and also it'll help it suspend or float up to the top a little bit differently than a fluorocarbon. Where to fish jerkbaits, what type of banks to be looking for. The number one reason, the possibilities are endless. You can fish them anywhere. Pea gravel, chunk rock, channel swings, wherever you guys like. If you guys like to throw a jig on a pea gravel bank in the early spring or something, pick up a jerkbait and throw it there for a few times. If you don't get a bite on there, the fish will let you know. If you're going down the bank and catch one on a chunk rock, that's what you want to be targeting, chunk rock banks with that jerkbait. The edge of boat docks are real good areas because those bait fish, they'll get underneath that boat dock and they'll just kind of sit there. And if you bring a jerkbait along, those bass will also be underneath those boat docks. So they'll be ambushing those bait fish that come by. And if you guys have a jerkbait and you bring it right in front of their face, they're liable to hit it really good. Areas close to deep water. This is more for the colder condition, colder water, your 40-degree water and below. Those bass, they'll be setting in that deeper channel. And they have feeding periods during this time of the year. And they'll come up and just feed and they'll go back down. And that's it. And that's whenever a jerkbait comes into play. A jerkbait, you can fish it up there whenever they're feeding. And if there's a bait ball or something around, they're going to come up and hit it. But like I said, they're just going to come up on there, get what they want, and come back down. That's it. They may not feed for a week. They may not feed for a day because their metabolism will slow down that much. Structure's a bonus. A real popular technique to throw jerkbait is over a brush pile. You can let that jerkbait sit in there. Those bass use that brush pile as an ambush point. They may be sitting there for shelter, but they'll also use it as an ambush point. You got to kind of think it's like fall fishing. If you guys are throwing a spinnerbait over a piece of cover or something, throw that jerkbait there and let it sit in front of his face. Because there may not be a fish that wants to jump up after a spinnerbait. They may be just be sitting there and they want something real slow, just sitting right in front of their face, and they'll come out and hit it. I've yet to see a bass turn down an injured bait fish. Depth I usually like to target a foot to 15 foot. Now you can target out your suspended fish out 15 foot and beyond. But those fish are a little tougher to catch, and you guys got to remember, these bass are in crystal clear water, so they can see that bait. They're going to be using their eyes a lot more. And if they're suspended, that jerkbait may not get over them. It may get blown in that shallow water, but that shallow water, your chances of having a fish, see that bait's a lot more greater. Let the fish tell you what they want. If they want it out deep in that deeper water, fish a jerkbait over that deeper water. If they want it up right on the bank, throw it right on the bank. This is a really kind of a controversial topic on jerkbaits. People want theirs to set nose down, perfectly level or tail down. It's all preference. You want the bait to look as natural as possible. You can change out hooks on it, get it to spin the way you want it, nose down, perfectly level, and such. But you can also, put suspend dots on there, make it suspend the way you want it. But you can also change the hooks out and get a more natural presentation. Because I think if you guys put a suspend dot on a transparent bait, a big gray dot right there, I just feel like it hinders the way it looks, its natural look. And you guys, if you guys already have a jerkbait with a suspend dot on there, you can get a marker and color over it. But I just feel like that big gray dot in crystal clear water, I don't think it makes it look as natural as it can be. The water temp does affect how it's sit. If you guys are wanting to tune a jerkbait, the best way to do it is go out in the lake, dedicate a few minutes, and get that bait to set in the water. Make sure those bearings are rolled over in it and they're setting. And if it floats up, you can change a hook out on it and everything, but you also got to think, that line, whenever you cast it out there, it's kind of a front heavy anchor. Your fluorocarbon sinks and your monofilament floats. And that does affect exactly how that bait will set in the water. It's really a science on how those work. Water temperature, your line size, what you're going to be fishing that day, if they're in a brush pile or not. It all depends. All of that affects, how you want that bait to set in that water. The technique I like to throw a jerkbait, we're going to start off your Smithwicks and your Spros, colder water. They have a tighter wobble, and in that colder water, you don't see a shad darting around real quick. Those shad are just like the bass. They're just kind of shimmying along. They're not really darting around. Your Mega Bass Vision 110 and Lucky Strike, that's for the 45 plus water. You know, those shad are starting to warm up, and so are the bass. You know, the bass's metabolism is starting to increase a little bit. That real erratic action has a better chance to get a reaction bite out of those fish in that little color water. Twitching the bait's the best way to work it. How I like to do it, I like to do 5 twitches as soon as it hits the water. Because I feel like if there's a bass out there in that foot range, and if you guys reel it down, I feel like that fish has been missed. That's just something I always think about whenever I'm fishing a jerkbait. And you know, you may not even get the 5 complete twitches whenever you're doing this technique. You may only get 2 in. But you want it to pause, and then three twitches, and then you want to pause again, and then 1 twitch. Your pauses, it's all what the bass want. You know, a bass, it may be 40-degree water, and they may be only wanting that jerkbait to set for 6 seconds. It's all what the bass want. But if you guys are just out there, just get on the water, you know, start counting. 1001, 1002, 1003, and if that bass comes up and hits on 1003, it gives you a good starting point on what to do with the next cast and what banks to target and everything. Experiment with your pause. Like I said before, you know, guys used to just cast a jerkbait out there, reel it down, let it set, and they'd pull in a fish. It's all what the bass want. You know, if you guys ain't getting a bite on a jerkbait, it's probably just how long you're letting it set. You may have to let it set longer. You may have to let it set for a short amount of time. I've seen that where I've had a jerkbait actually set too long in the water and they would hit it. They wanted it moving continuously. I mean, it was just crazy that day. The colder the water, the longer the pause. Another way is to let it set for long periods of time. You know, like I said, you can do that. A lot of old timers done that back whenever they first come out. And Smithwick was the first one that actually come out with a jerkbait. You know, some guys got together a Smithwick floating rogue, drilled some holes in it, put some lead in it, made it suspend. And that's where the jerkbait fishing comes in. It's all trial and error. Let the fish tell you how they want it and everything. Any questions?
We've got one online. We all watch the best. We learn from the best, and KVD is a perfect example. When he twitches, it looks like he's about to rip a rod out of his own hand. So when you say twitch, what's your preference? What's your recommendation on a true twitch on a jerkbait?
See, whenever Van Dam, if you guys notice the way he fishes, he has a lot of slack in his line. And whenever he pops that bait like that, he's just getting a real erratic pop to the left or to the right. He has a lot of slack, and whenever he does do that, you know, that bait's going to jump. He may be only moving that bait a foot. So a twitch, in my opinion, is if you got a little bit of slack and you just kind of twitch your wrist real quick, and they'll have enough reaction where it pop that bait. But whenever Van Dam, like he mentioned, you know, he's a real good jerkbait fisherman. If you guys listen to his videos and stuff, he says to always fish a jerkbait on a slack line, and I do not disagree with that. I mean, that is the most important thing when fishing jerkbait. Is always keep slack in it and always watch your slack. If that slack line jumps or anything like that, you know, set the hook. Any more? Jerk, setting them up. I like to go out on the lake.
Question is about
That's the best way to do it. Just dedicate your time and go out there, because that water temp will affect it. If you guys have a jerkbait that sits perfectly in 40-degree water, whenever it becomes summertime, that bait may sink a little bit. So, I mean, you just got to experiment with the water temp. And whenever you do go out there, you know, use fluorocarbon. Use the line that you plan on using for that bait for that day. That's just the best way to do it. Change your hooks out at the lake. You know, bring your suspend dots with you, your split ring pliers. And just change those hooks out and experiment with it. If you guys want a nose down bait, you know, change that front hook out and put a few suspend dots up there around the front hook hanger.
What's your thoughts on like angles and on your cast? Say you're going down whether a bank or coming up on a dock. What's your preference when it comes to your angles?
If I'm going down a bank, I like to start out with a 45, and I'll just watch. You know, if I get that bite 5 foot away from the bank, you know, I'll parallel the boat those cast parallel in that 5 foot range. Because the whole point of a jerk bait is you want that bait to set in the strike zone for the longest amount of time. And like any other bait, you want it to be in the strike zone. And a jerk bait just doubles it. You know, if that fish is setting in 8 foot of water 5 foot out from the bank, you know, you want to cast 5 foot out from the bank and have a jerk bait that runs to 8 foot and just keep it down there in that depth.
So when you were talking about using like a 5-3-1, like do you think it's more effective to do something where you're at it and you get the action bite instead of something?
You can experiment with it. I mean, that's just what I like to start out doing. You know, there's been days where I've, you know, couldn't get a bite for 5 twitches. That was too quick. And then, you know, you can go to the 2, twitch it 2 times, pause it, twitch it 2 times. Just keep doing that. But, you know, there's been days where that fish wants it continuously, where you just popping it continuously. And then there's been some days where that bass just wants 1 twitch and that's it. I mean, it's all what the bass want.
Given that Springfield is an hour drive from 5 of the better lakes, you know, probably in the Midwest, do you think there's certain lakes that are better jerkbait lakes than others?
I mean, for sure, yes. That is a definite yes answer. You know, some lakes, like Lake of the Ozark, I've heard that's a pretty good jerkbait lake. You know, if you go up there and fish a jerkbait over the brush piles, I mean, I've heard that's pretty much the best lake to do that on. And Stockton Lake, you know, that's a pretty good lake to fish. And you can fish a jerkbait there, and I've heard some people say that's the best jerkbait lake to fish. I mean, it's all what you guys think. If you guys think, you know, Lake of the Ozark's a better lake for you to fish on, or Stockton's a better lake. But yes, there is some lakes out there, like up north in Michigan, you can throw jerkbait year-round and catch smallmouth left and right on a jerkbait. And then down south, you know, some people may not even have a jerkbait in their box because the water temp may not get below a certain degree. Yes.
What's your thoughts on, say, wind, sun, clouds, all those conditions? What do you say is your absolute top, and what would you say your bottom condition?
Probably an overcast day with a little bit of wind. I mean, you always want wind whenever you're fishing a jerkbait. If you guys got super flat water, it's real hard to get a bite because they can really study that bait. You know, that water's flat. You kind of want to match your retrieve to how the water is. If that water's really flat, you know, you may just want that bait to sit there. But it's, you know, I'm going to tell you now, it is very, very difficult to get a bite in flat water sometimes. If you guys have a little bit of wind to break it up, you know, those bass, they'll just see the outline of it, they can tell what it is, and they'll go up and hit it. But probably the best day to do it is an overcast day with a little bit of wind, a white jerkbait. Stockton. I mean, I like Stockton, and that's the lake I've been doing it on recently, and I've been catching fish there, so.
Does anyone have any other questions?
All right, guys, thank you.
Great job. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, I have a couple of things I want to announce before we get in there. We've got some.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Austin Ware from WIllard High School. We're hoping to do this every Tuesday night, and hope you enjoyed it. If you've got questions or comments, please put them below. We'd be happy to answer them for you. But once again, hope you enjoyed the time. Us at Teen Anglers and Forest Outdoors truly thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time out in the water. Take care.